And for the month of April, we are exploring creativity. The title of our talk today is Dance with the Donkey. Wow, I can't wait to find out about that one. And it will be given by our wonderful guest speaker, Melinda Jacobs. And now we invite you just to get comfortable, relax in this moment as we officially begin our service. We need to add sound to our video, so just give us a moment. Please join us as we create our sacred space. We set our intentions of deepening into our awareness and practice of our 5 pillars of spiritual living by lighting this candle in our virtual world. Our first pillar is sacred study, represented by the divine quality of truth. We use this pillar to recognize the importance of an open mind and the power of our minds. The second pillar is affirmative prayer, represented by the divine quality power. This pillar honors the power of prayer in our daily lives. Our third pillar is meditation and the divine quality of peace. This pillar reminds us of the importance of meditation and the peace we feel when we quiet our minds. The fourth pillar is circulation and the divine quality of life. We know that the great law of circulation works in our lives. As we give, so shall we receive. And the fifth pillar is sacred service and the divine quality of love. This pillar affirms our call to be of service to our world as we see through the eyes of love. Let us close our eyes as we bless this sacred space and our time together. As we weave each of these pillars of spiritual living into our service today, may they deepen our own spiritual practices of study, prayer, meditation, circulation, and service, expanding our minds and our hearts to the 5 divine qualities of truth, power, peace, life, and love. We also bless everyone who made our service possible today and everyone in attendance. May the energy of love that is generated here bless everyone abundantly, and so it is. Such a good feeling. I love especially that last slide with all the divine qualities. We're so glad that you joined us here today. Please feel free to add to the chat or in the comments any prayer requests or celebrations that you would like us to include later in our service when we provide our community spiritual mind treatment, which is a form of affirmative prayer. And now I'd like to tell you a little bit more about our guest speaker, Melinda Jacobs. If you're a regular at CSL Leesburg, you're quite familiar with her. If you're new to us, then you will be delighted by her presence. We'll do our introduction, and then she will lead us through our meditation, and then she is our speaker for today. So Melinda Jacobs is a ministerial student. She's a religious science practitioner, an international intuitive coach, a clinical hypnotherapist, a speaker, a teacher, and an author. And every time I read that list, I think to myself, what does she do in her free time? My goodness gracious. So with welcoming arms, we are so happy to have Melinda Jacobs with us today. And now I'm going to turn it over to her as she leads us in our meditation.
Thank you, Tamara. So welcome everybody. Let's just take some time and go within. And Tamara, just let me know if you can't hear that. And so we just turn in, connecting with the breath. And as we step into recognizing the upcoming Holy Week, we turn to that holiness within ourselves. And let's just start with the breath. Take a long, deep breath in. And exhaling, letting the stress, the tension, letting go of the week, of all that's transpired. And you could imagine breathing in a golden rose-colored light. That light holding the vibration of love, of wisdom, of kindness. And just allowing the breath to bring your energy into this now moment. And if there's any place in your being that needs a little extra support today, you could imagine breathing that healing love and light into that place. Maybe there's some tension or tightness in the physical body. Allow that healing light to wash through that place. Maybe there's some heaviness or some challenging feelings in the heart. Breathing that healing light into that place in the heart. Allowing the tension to dissolve. And then to the mind. Let this healing light wash through all the thinking and all the effects of the thinking. Allowing the thoughts to settle like the clouds parting and the light coming forward. That light being the essence of your being, that indwelling presence of the divine, shining out, shining through, touching everything that you see, touching every person within your sphere. And you could imagine that light shining out to the entire world. Bringing peace to the places of conflict. Bringing love and joy to the places where there's separation. Knowing wealth and abundance is present for every being. And in this meditation time, I want to share with you a prayer that is said to be performed each morning by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. This is a Bodhisattva prayer for humanity. May I be a guard for those who need protection. a guide for those on the path, a boat, a raft, a bridge for those who wish to cross the flood. May I be a lamp in the darkness, a resting place for the weary, a healing medicine for all who are sick. A vase of plenty, a tree of miracles. And for the boundless multitudes of living beings, may I bring sustenance and awakening, enduring like earth and sky, until all beings are freed from sorrow and all are awakened. And one more breath. Just coming back into your space. And when you're ready, you can just softly blink open your eyes. Welcome. So we have an opening song by our beloved Leah.
Trouble above, trouble below, trouble ahead of me. What do you know? Wake up in the morning. What do I find? Trouble is everywhere, but ain't none on my mind. 'Cause I got peace like a river, I got love through the night, I got joy like a fountain, I'm gonna be alright. 'Cause I got rhythm and harmony ringing in me. Love is free, peace is free, and joy is free, free, free. Is there strife in the world? Is there strife in the home? Are you feeling a little lost? Are you feeling alone? Waking up at midnight. Do you remember your dreams? Riding wrapped on a cool, gentle stream. 'Cause you can have peace like a river, love through the night. You can have joy like a fountain, my dear, you can be alright. You've got rhythm and harmony ringing in you. Love is true, peace is true, joy is true, true, true. Whatever way you're looking, there is something there to see. Is life a paradise or prison? Tell me, what do you believe? We could have peace like a river, love from our souls. We can have joy like a fountain, guiding everywhere we go. Oh, let our hearts beat the rhythm, let the anthem we sing be. Peace is free, love is free, joy
that was just beautiful. So welcome everybody. Let's see, am I still sharing? Good. Everything's good. Thank you, Tamara. So I have too many windows open here. So I'm going to just sort through. Here we go. So our beloved Charlene is taking a day off. And so we're just going to send just so much joy and blessings to her as she enjoys some downtime and some rest. And I'm just asking for lots of love and grace for our transitions today. So our monthly theme for April is creativity. And this week, we're going to talk about what it means to dance with the donkey. So I want to start with the affirmation for the week. I am an open, dazzling channel for inspiration and peace. So if you will, say it with me. I am an open, dazzling channel for inspiration and peace. So this month, we're talking about creativity. Creativity is who and what we are. That which caused us to press through in this time and place will not be denied and will always call for our attention and expression. Seen and unseen, Spirit always creates through every breathtaking scenic vista, as well as every challenge. When we listen and respond to our intuitive nudges and sparks, we dance with creation itself. Cause and effect, creative expression, inspired perception, and clear intention are for every one of us, not just a select few. So this week, we're going to explore the creative journey symbolized by Palm Sunday and the growth which occurs as we expand and step out of our comfort zones. So welcome to Holy Week in the Christian tradition, in which we, through Centers of Spiritual Living, through Science of Mind and New Thought, celebrate the one infinite creative presence and power, which informs and guides all spiritual paths. So Science of Mind believes and talks about this golden thread that weaves through all traditions. And there is this common wisdom that comes out. So we're going to talk about some of the different holidays that are happening in this time period. So last Saturday, Ramadan began, and it continues through May 2nd. In addition to honoring today's holy day of Palm Sunday, we also look forward to this coming Friday is Good Friday. And then that evening, Passover begins from the Jewish tradition. And then we finish with Easter Sunday. So the Creator itself shines through all spiritual paths in unique ways. And we can resist our journey, or we can dance the journey. We get to choose. Do we stumble on the stumbling blocks, or do we step on those stepping stones? Do we have tantrums or tangos? We get to decide. So Ernest Holmes, our founder, says, we believe in our own soul, our own spirit, and our own destiny, for we understand that the life of each of us is God. And that comes from his writing, What We Believe. Now, this doesn't mean that we are passive recipients of love's gifts and blessings, or that oming all day will produce a life of unicorns and pink fairy dust. If we want to dance with spirit, we must dance with all of spirit. That means the parts of ourselves and the parts of our journey that challenge us to grow. In other words, there will be some donkeys to dance with. So Palm Sunday is the day that Jesus entered into Jerusalem riding on the back of a donkey. Metaphysically, this symbolizes the part of us that is stubborn, untrainable, and undisciplined. Not that I know anything about that, and I'm sure you can notice that within yourself. The donkey also represents our persistence, and it can endure and travel the rocky and broken road. Jerusalem means habitation of peace. I want to say that again, really feel that habitation of peace. Jerusalem is the symbol of where peace lives. So Jesus rides into Jerusalem. It's about our I am nature, knowing that peace is always present. And it waits for our decision to enter it. That indwelling presence within us is waiting for us to journey into it. So battle, resist, or deny what is, or surrender and dance with the donkey. That's what we get to choose. And I know you've heard it probably many, many times. What we resist persists. And it's exhausting and overwhelming and incredibly frustrating. When we dance with our donkeys, however, resistance fades away. And what was once our shadow blesses us and offers gifts of innovation, newness, wisdom, and resilience. So think about all these different faith celebrations that are offering us such powerful tools to honor our own creative journeys. And that allows us to become even more available to that indwelling spirit. So a little calendar context. So Palm Sunday marks the start of Holy Week. This is the day Jesus rode into Jerusalem. And then this coming Friday, Good Friday, was the crucifixion, followed by Easter Sunday, next Sunday, the resurrection. And then Passover begins this coming Friday. And last week, Ramadan started. So there's so much attention from these different faiths about this time. Historically, Passover commemorates the Israelites' liberation from slavery in Egypt. Symbolically, we look at Passover as representing passing over from one old state of consciousness to enter into a new one. Rising in awareness, we get to transcend the mortal, the humanness of ourselves, to live from that I am, that indwelling presence. One example of this shift in consciousness can be seen in what we've talked about in past weeks about moving from the victim perspective of living as if life is happening to me, and then passing over, rising into the awareness that life is happening for me. That's an example of that passing over from one consciousness to the next. So bringing in both Palm Sunday and Passover, the creative journey often means leaving the predictable, the familiar, the known, the comfortable, dare I say, leaving that to walk the road less traveled, to move from our comfort into that discomfort where growth happens. Recognizing that our old ways of being must fall away, we get to choose an adventure of creative discovery and wonder. Muslims honor Ramadan by fasting from food, gossiping, arguing, or lying. It's a time for self-reflection, spiritual growth, and a time to grow in moral excellence. And I'm going to say that again because I love the feel of that phrase, moral excellence. Ultimately, fasting is for gaining greater God consciousness. The word used is taqwa, a state of constant awareness of God. So how can we fast from our beliefs, our prejudices, and our fears? Think about it that spiritual and mental fasting liberates us and creates room for inspiration and love. What I know about physical fasting is when we give our body a break from digesting and working on that process, when the body has a break, it can then open itself to deeper healing. And I can imagine fasting from food, taking breaks from certain foods, or even taking longer breaks, not eating at all, and giving my body time to heal other places. But fasting mentally, that seems like a whole nother level of challenge. So I want you to consider what you're feeding your mind. What are you watching? What are you reading? What are you listening to? What are you talking about? I love this idea of mental fasting and the symbolism of Passover, moving from one state of consciousness to another, because to me, it seems that one, of course, would lead to the other. The fasting would, of course, lead to that connecting deeper with spirit. So maybe there's a specific thought that often comes through your mind across the screen. I'm going to use the common one, I'm not good enough. Fasting from food means you don't eat a certain thing. And I haven't really trained my mind completely yet so that when the thought I'm not good enough comes by, that I'm able to catch it before it even happens. So I'm offering this as a consideration for a first step in mental fasting is when that thought comes by the screen, I want you to just name it and say, that's not true. And then immediately replace it with the preferred thought. What is it that you want to know? What is it that you want to affirm? Today, I'm going to use our affirmation. When I see that thought, I'm not good enough to come across my screen, I say, stop, that's not true. I'm an open, dazzling channel for inspiration and peace. And because all of humanity is part of one mind, it's highly probable that you'll see those old thoughts go by your screen from time to time. And with enough mental fasting, taqwa, the constant awareness of God will be where the mind goes to more than not. And so next, it's time to dance with that donkey, right? Palm Sunday represents more than just Jesus riding on a donkey, riding into Jerusalem while he was received wildly by cheering fans. And they covered the road in palm branches. Palm Sunday represents each of us on our own journey to peace and fulfillment. In life's continuum, we have both sacred moments of discovery and probably many dark nights of the soul. The valleys of death and desperation are not meant to be lived in. They're meant to be passed through. Back to our knowing, back to our wholeness, back to that presence that's in, through, and around and as us. Palm Sunday shows Christ consciousness, that infinite creative potentiality, the innate truth and the light within all, as embodied in the physical form of Jesus, of you, of me, of a mortal human. Jesus has been said to be the great example, not the great exception. I could imagine that in his human form, he did feel profound love, but also great pain. Christ consciousness, that divine, anointed, and light-filled intelligence, though, that's our essence. That's who we are. It can never be extinguished, hurt, or even lost. That consciousness within is always inviting us to weave our humanness with our divinity. Think about that internally, your humanness and your divinity woven together as one. Rather than deny, fight with, or even abandon his donkey, Jesus rode on it or above it, above that donkey stuff. When we accept what is, we're free to dance with what is. Challenges, people, or issues become part of the creative dance, not reasons to give up. And how many times have you bumped into an obstacle, into a challenge, and you're just like, I'm out. I'm inviting you to step back in. I love science and I love Albert Einstein. He's one of my heroes. And this quote of his really is profound. No problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. So when we think about the struggle and being willing to give up the fight, we can let go of the struggle, but we don't have to abandon the whole situation. We can turn our attention to the solution, even if we don't know it, just to ask that question. I wonder what's possible in this moment. I wonder what's trying to emerge through this conflict. I wonder what beauty Spirit wants to bring into this relationship for us both. So this is another way to see the creative dance. We have to accept what is in order to step to step far enough away from it, take a breath, and to get curious about what's possible. This all takes willingness to be a channel for Spirit's creations. And I know each and every one of you, that Spirit has specifically tapped on your shoulder and says, hey, I want to move through you. I want to bring this idea through you. It takes faith to step forward in that possibility, in the discovery, in the newness. And that newness is going to be uncomfortable. We do not grow. We do not shift. We do not change when we're comfortable. So whether creating a new way of being in relationship with people you love, or even innovations of space travel, you, beloved, have a light within you and it seeks to shine. Always. It takes courage and curiosity to explore your dreams and your uniqueness. We're trying so hard to be alike. We try so hard to hide and not stand out. It takes courage to stand in that uniqueness that you hold. So cultivating courage by deepening your understanding of who and what you are as a spiritual being, like a wave peeking out of the ocean. That one wave is part of the vastness of all of the waters of the planet. You, as a spiritual being, are an individual expression of Spirit itself. Like that wave, you come out of Spirit and we go back. So embrace your curiosity by connecting with others who are also walking a journey of discovery and potential. All the people here in this room are those people. Find your tribe. Because you have within you the same infinite light of wisdom that liberated the ancient Israelites from Egypt. You have the light of the Muslims, of the Buddhists, of the Taoists, of the Celts, of the indigenous people, and even atheists. Because no matter what faith we practice, and regardless of whether we're aware of our true nature The light of divinity is in every single being. Dancing with a donkey is ultimately the dance with spirit in all of its forms, in all of its experiences. Be willing to be inspired and grown by all of your own donkeyness. Sometimes you will dance the wild dance of a mosh pit. I've been there. And other times you're going to be so grace-filled as the most beautiful dancer. There will be great choreography and order, and there will be times of chaos and creative confusion. Just keep dancing your dance and bless every donkey that comes along your path. And as we dance our lives, we can be inspired by the blessed wisdom traditions of others. We can choose to admire and honor Muslims celebrating Ramadan. And in our honoring of the teaching of Islam, we too can fast from the negative and limiting beliefs that we hold. We can turn away from thoughts that have kept us in that separation from God, separation from others. We can establish a discipline of mind which keeps us centered, aligned, and conscious of our oneness with infinite spirit. And as we fast from judgment, fear, and separation, we can embrace equity, social justice, and keep our hearts open to creating and maintaining a world which does work for all. When we choose loving awareness, we move into our own Passover experience, moving from one level of consciousness to another, leaving behind the old ways of thinking which no longer serve us or even the planet. And we bless what has gone before and perceive our history as dance floors that we've stepped off of and left behind. And finally, when faced with challenges, struggles, or loss, hold yourself, hold the people involved, hold the situation in love, gentleness, and compassion. Look for people and places which remind you that you're always supported by an unlimited reservoir of strength every step of your sacred path. Just breathing that in, let's just turn within and close with a prayer. Oh, and so I just recognize that divine presence that moves as that golden thread through all teachings, through all beings, in all countries, in all communities, in all beings. I recognize that beautiful light, that golden thread of the one love, the one life that is spirit in every expression, in every form. And I know that there is no separation, that we are all woven in our humanness and the inner divinity living within us, that we are one fabric with all of creation. And so in this time of this Holy Week, I just know and affirm for all beings that light within is brilliant, is bright, is pulsing, is waking itself to come out, pressing us forward. I know that we are loved and we are guided through our journeys. I know that our donkeys are blessed and that they are here truly to help us come even closer to the truth of our being. And so for every prayer that's been put into our chat, for every person in this community that is holding a challenge, I'm knowing that they are filled with light, that they are surrounded in love and support and grace. For our country, for our world, for all the conflict, I am knowing peace is right there in the midst of it, that the presence of the divine is so powerful so brilliant that any form of darkness recedes. And as we bring our attention to that light, to that truth, to that love, to that golden thread through all being and all time, I know that what remains is love, is harmony, is beauty, is equity, is peace, is health, is wealth and abundance for all. And I am so grateful for this knowing, so grateful for this time, so grateful for this sharing. I release this into the infinite law, knowing it's received, knowing the universe's only response is to say yes, yes, and yes. Thank you, beloveds. Thank you, Great Spirit. Thank you, wisdom. We just release it, allow it to be. And together we affirm by saying, and so it is. Okay. Let me come back to sharing my screen with sound. Yes. And then, nope. There we go.
My heart is opening, my roots are anchoring, my breath is traveling to every part of me. My heart is opening, my roots are anchoring, my breath is traveling to every part of me. My heart is opening, my roots are anchoring, my breath is traveling to every part of me. My heart is opening, my roots are anchoring, my breath is traveling to every part of me. My heart is opening, my roots are anchoring, my breath is traveling to every part of me. My heart is opening, my roots are anchoring, my breath is traveling to every part of me. My heart is opening, my roots are anchoring, my breath is traveling to every part of me. My heart is opening, my roots are anchoring, my breath is traveling to every part of me. My heart is opening, my roots are anchoring, my breath is traveling to every part of me. My heart is opening, my roots are anchoring, my breath is traveling to every part of me. Breath moves to every part of me. Light moves to every part of me. Love moves to every part of me. Song moves to every part of me.
Oh, so beautiful, so beautiful. And thank you so much, Melinda, for the message today. Now it is time to bless the donations that are shared today. At CSL Leesburg, we believe in the law of circulation. So we are a tithing community. The donations shared with our center bless everyone, those who give and those who receive. As you can see on the screen, there's so many ways that you can give. It's easy to find a way that works perfectly just for you. You can also go to our CSL Live website and click the donate button. We thank you so much for your support. Now, no matter how you are giving, maybe it's physically, writing a check, sending something in the mail, hitting one of those apps, or whether it's just something that you do automatically each month, Just take your hands and put them over your heart and join me in the blessing of our gifts. The presence of spirit within me blesses everyone I meet, tends to heal everything I touch, brings gladness into the life of everyone I contact. Therefore, I'm a blessing to myself, to humankind, and to the day in which I live. And so it is. And now we have some announcements. So, as always, on Tuesday mornings at 9 a.m., you can join Charlene and friends as they explore their dreams. And we're always dreaming. And sometimes we wake up and we remember and we think, well, what was all that about? If you join Charlene and her friends on Tuesday, they'll help you interpret your dreams. And sometimes it's great to have somebody with an outside perspective who can help you see some things that are right there in your dreams that maybe eluded you. On Wednesdays, during the month of April, we are celebrating the focus for this month, creativity. So on Wednesday evenings at 7 o'clock, we're getting together and we're just exploring creative ways that we can enhance our lives and enhance our get-togethers on Sunday. Anything that we can do to make CSL Leesburg something that meets your needs. So join us on Wednesday evenings at 7 and we will get creative. All right, I think that's it for today. My goodness. Yeah, you can see there on the screen about Wednesdays. And now we're going to wrap up our sacred service with our closing affirmation. So once again, I'm inviting you to place your hands over your heart. Give yourself a nice big hug, a little extra love for today, and join me in saying, I am love. Sometimes I hear you. Now, I invite you to look at someone who's in the room with you, or just look at somebody on the screen. Maybe you even have a furry companion with you today, but just someone who is special to you, and remind them, you are love.
You are love.
Thank you so much. And now put your hands up in the air for what we call love sprinkles. And remember, it is all good. It is all God. It is all love.
It is all love.
Thank you so much for joining us. If you can, please stay after service. We get together, we just chat, and we share something called Pearls. What part of our message today really resonated with you? I know I've been taking notes. I can't wait to share. If you're new, you can introduce ourselves if you so choose. Let's see, what else? We just catch up. We kind of hang around and drink our own coffee and chat about our message today and what we have planned. And if you have to leave us, then we send you off with our blessings. Thank you so much for joining us today.